Well, welcome indeed to Leicester Fan TV. Do feel free to like and share this and say no to the Super Greed League. Let's start it with that. I'm sure we may come on to that later on in the show. But today, as ever, welcome if you're watching live. I know loads of you are. What else do we, Leicester fans, look, let's talk about the positivities of football. Let's talk about what it's all about, which is an open competition where every team in the league is entered. And if you beat that team, you go into the next round and so on. And that's how football works, isn't it? Not this nonsense of the Super Greed League. We're in the final. We want to know what you thought about yesterday's game. Can we go on and win the cup? I want to know all your views about that. Johnny Evans was absolutely amazing yesterday. Jamie Vardy was the provider, not the scorer again, but the provider. Let's talk about him. Kasper Schmeichel is 34 years young, and it's his first final. Could be his only final. Who knows? So he's going to grasp it with both hands. Let's talk about Brendan Rodgers. Did he get it right? Of course, he got it right yesterday, and we well and truly beat Southampton, although it was a close scoreline. I want your views on that. And most importantly at the moment, Nacho Man again and again. Get your views and get your comments in. Good evening to Alex. How are you? Good evening, Ross. Good evening, Jack. Get as many comments up on screen. It's me and you. Gray says we're the famous Leicester City and we're going to Wembley. I should be singing it, shouldn't I, Gray? Auntie Karen Kennel is watching. Auntie Karen, hopefully we'll be meeting up down at Wembley because 10,000 tickets for Leicester fans. So hopefully we will be do that. LCFC Gray watching on YouTube. Don't forget we are streaming all over the place tonight. Says we were very professional and closed the game out. We'll bring on Chelsea. Ross says Evans was hungry for the ball and wanted the win. Indeed he did. Dave, good evening. Liam, good evening. Ross says Nacho Man, what an A-class act. Madison Moore, Vardy. You're going to have to change your YouTube name again. You're going to have to change it to Nacho Man. Let's see if you can do that in tonight's show. There's a challenge for you. Ben, good evening. Ross, Super Ross up in Sheffield land says 15th of May may be a date Leicester will never, ever forget. Jason says, yesterday was nervous, but we came through. I was nervous as well. Fee says, great result. Ordered my FA Cup shirt this morning. We are going to win. Fee, we have got an FA Cup shirt to give away absolutely for free. So I know you've ordered one, but we've got one for anybody else who wants to enter. Of course, Fee, you can enter and win it. I'm going to come back to as many comments as I can. I want all your views. Please like and share this video. I'm going to add in Anthony. Now, Anthony joined us brilliantly yesterday from Wembley Stadium. He was one hell of a lucky boy, and he was in that ground at the semi-final. In 10, 20 years' time, he'll be able to sit down the pub and say, I was at that semi-final. And most of us can't say it. Let's add him in. He's smiling like a good one, Anthony.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, I bet you've had a smile on your face all day, haven't you?
Yeah, my colleagues at work said I was in a really good mood today for some reason.
Yeah, well, not only are Leicester in the FA Cup final, which we're all smiling about today, but yeah, you were in that ground yesterday. Thanks so much for joining us. Before, people were literally loving the fact that you joined us live, Anthony.
It was good. And thanks for having me. It was brilliant. I mean, it was great to try and share the experience. I mean, it was really weird. It was really weird because there were more Leicester fans in there than you think. But the fun police, as maybe I shouldn't call them, were doing it but to allow any colours. There was a Southampton fan sitting in front of me with his hat on. He was told to take that off. But at the end, you saw quite a few unwrap their coats and their scarves and highlight their Leicester allegiance. But it was
when it was too late to be kicked out, it's like we're all Leicester.
Yeah.
It's a bit like sitting in the way end at a big game, isn't it? Where you have to keep quiet until the end, and then you can say, "Yeah, I've got away with that."
I've done it once or twice when I was young.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, people are putting in some great comments. They really were pleased. Jamie from the Fox's Arms said, hope to see you over at the Fox's Arms soon. Ross says, thanks so much for the view yesterday, Anthony. It was brilliant. Again, Ross says Anthony is a top man. I mean, was it it must have been a strange atmosphere.
It was a strange atmosphere. It was a bit like going, I don't know if you remember, going to the reserves many a year ago when they started to make family night football on a I think it was a Monday, and they used to get about 5,000 or 6,000 into Filbert Street. It was really like that. So a little bit of good atmosphere, a little bit of bizarre quietness. But what I found really interesting yesterday was looking at some of the players that I hadn't seen for ages and how they were setting up now. Fofana, for an example, he's built. He's massive. You would not think of that from the TV. But it's really
Well,
exciting.
it's a fair point. No other fans have seen Fofana in real life play a match, have we? We've just seen what we see on the telly. And it is so different being at a real game to what, when you're on the TV, they just follow the ball, don't they? I used to love it when Sky used to have the options to pick camera angles and you could sit behind the goal. I used to watch it sometimes and just think, that's how I like to see the game. So
absolutely, and that was the weirdest thing, because I mean, we've all been before. We all know what it's like, but you know, we haven't been for ages, and you just get used to watching. You forget actually how great it is, but also how well organised they are. I mean, that defence yesterday. I agree with your comments at the start. Evans, what a player! He gets some critics from the odd few, and I don't know why. I think he is amazing. He's still, now he reads that game and he's helping Fofana so much. You can see he's talking to him all the while.
I mean, the TV pundits gave Nacho Man the man of the match, which I understand. You know, he scores a winning goal to get you through the cup final. Funnily enough, most fans yesterday, Anthony, on here after the match were saying Johnny Evans man of the match.
But for me, I thought I thought he played really well. I thought Ndidi as well. Again, you forget, don't you, what I mean, we all know how good a player Ndidi is, but what a game he had yesterday. Again, he just does it 7, 8 out of 10 every week. He stops challenges. He blocks, and he makes people run. And again, it's this awareness that he has in the game that I just think is outstanding. You know, that spine of that team is awesome. Somebody say something about Soyuncu. He was a bit reckless, but again, it makes that it allows that balance at the back three to be right.
Yeah, somebody put a comment in saying they felt Soyuncu was a little bit reckless. This is Alex says, a little bit reckless. Was surprised he wasn't sent off. I thought there was one tackle in the second half where he was a bit lucky that he didn't get a yellow for it, and that would have been his second.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. So, but anyway, listen, we're all going to Wembley again. Well, who knows how many it's going to go, but.
Well, they're talking about 10,000, and I think it'll be fans this time because obviously you're connected obviously with the NHS, and that was how you got in there. So
yeah, I think there'll be. Well, I heard 20. Somebody told me 20. So whether it's 10 or 20,
I think it's 10 per team.
Is that what it is? I just hope that this is 10 as well, and it's not 5,000 to dignitaries and whatever. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that could be some of it. Anthony, Jamie Vardy. What was it like? Because I believe the goal was scored at the end of rat. Is that right?
It was coming running. You know what? And he was running straight towards me when he was scoring, right at me.
Yeah.
And I just forget again what a talent he is. I mean, he didn't have the best of games, did he? He missed that chance in the first half, but as he was coming down that wing, that fullback didn't have a chance, and he did it again a few minutes later. But what a run! And it was just, I mean, when they scored, I mean, I was awesome. You were told not to celebrate the goal, but I'm not kidding you. Everybody cheered.
Well, did you know, Anthony, you were spotted on TV?
Was I?
Yes, people had seen you obviously on Leicester Fan TV before, and then we did the half-time thing, and people came on and said, "I saw Anthony giving a good old cheer in that first half, caught on the cameras."
Yeah, well, I was, and I did my bit, hopefully for the team, but. It was, yeah. I don't really know how much to say because I don't want to rub it into people, but I was very lucky. I was very privileged.
I think to be fair, Anthony, we're all listening like in admiration, and we all love it because it gives us a bit. We weren't there. We watched it on TV. It was. I'm going to be honest. In my house, it was a strange experience because all of us would have definitely gone to the semi-final in my house.
Yeah.
We've all got season tickets, so we were watching it, but. The noise was weird because I think they were sort of using some of the sound from the live crowd that were there for the first time, which was nice. So you get some better reactions, but it was quite muted, and it was a strange game. It was tense, wasn't it?
It felt tense as soon as I walked through the turnstile.
So it's great to hear from your view what it was like in the ground.
Yeah, no, definitely. There was definitely. I sat next to a Leeds fan, and one of the funniest things that you forget what people are like, the amount of people that moan in a
yes.
And it's funny because sitting next to a Leeds fan, and he was just moaning all the way through, and I just wanted to tell him to shut up, but obviously I didn't. But
he was a Leeds. What was he moaning about?
Quite clearly, because the fact that they weren't there.
Yes.
But you forget that. I mean, I've got a couple of good friends who are West Ham fans, and they say that there's no way they'd be that high in the league if they had fans in the ground, because all their fans moan all the while.
Yeah.
So, but no. Joking aside, I think everyone that was in there was just pleased to see, the trial, and I think it was a successful trial. It was interesting because there was no one could sit next to each other. Even if with your guest, you had to sit one seat apart. Then the front and back rows in front of you and behind you were empty as well. But at half time in the concourse, it was like just a normal game. So it was weird because you're outside where they're saying socially distance, and you are distancing, but downstairs, in the toilets and in the behind the bar, it was just madness.
So in the concourse, it was the usual rugby scrum, as they say, for a burger and a pint. The toilets, was that socially distanced, or was it the rugby?
So saying, 5 people in the toilet. It was just like
just like a normal match.
Absolutely, it's crazy.
So it was a bit for the cameras, then, was it? Like, we must, because I did hear of people say they'd gone with somebody, and they were told to keep apart from even the person they'd travelled down with in the car. They weren't allowed to sit next to each other.
People, I witnessed people being told to separate in the crowd. So, but listen, they've got to do the right thing, and there's safety first. And if it means that it's a success and people can get back in for Wembley, then so be it. Because I really, listen, I've had my go, but I still want to be there in the final. I want to take my dad next time, and I want to be there with Leicester fans. But there's only 10,000, and there's more than 10,000 season ticket holders. So it'd be interesting to work out how they're going to do this.
Indeed. Anthony, I'm going to let you go because I know you've got your tea ready in a minute. Before you go, you've just mentioned your dad there. For those fans, I did come and interview your dad, and that video is on YouTube. A great one about your dad wrote this lovely book about when I was your age, which is him talking about, is it your son he's sort of wrote the book for? Yeah,
so it's my son, so his grandson. He wrote. So my dad's been a massive Leicester fan since the late sort of early 50s, mid 50s. He went to all the 3 cup finals and all the semi-finals in the 60s. He was, he's a mad fan, and this just documents his view from the terraces. So if anybody wants just to reminisce or go down reminiscent lane, it was available in the club shop. I think they've taken it down. They've taken all the books offline in the club shop, but you'd probably be able to find it in Amazon. When I was your age, by Peter Bennett. It's a good read, and obviously very proud of him for doing that.
It is a great read. I say I did an interview with Anthony's dad. It is on YouTube. I'll share the link later. So just a couple to let you go. Joanna says, Anthony, you're not rubbing it in. I'm glad you went. It would have been amazing for any of us to go into that game, but you deserve it for being NHS, and at least City had some fans backing them. Jack says, thanks for flying the flag for Leicester City yesterday, Anthony. Hope you enjoyed the experience. Kevin says, you're not rubbing it in. You gave us fans a chance to see a live view of Wembley. So thank you. So I think that's the best way to leave it, Anthony. Thanks a lot for yesterday in particular, and for tonight as well.
No worries, and thanks for having me on. I'll go to the other side now. I'm watching from the other side. So
get those comments in. See you later, Anthony. Cheers.
Take care. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.
Go and check out Anthony's dad's book. It is a good read, and get them in there. So thanks. That was great to get out. I mean, it was well done to Jamie from the Fox's Arms, who knows. I mean, Jamie knows everybody, but it was great that Jamie got him sorted out yesterday, and to just give us a glimpse from inside Wembley. It made us all jealous, but it made us all just feel like we were there for a few minutes. Because again, the football coverage just doesn't do that for you, does it? It just they've kept it in all. They've not thought about the fans at all in some of the coverage. It'd be so nice to have given us some fan views, some cameras in the stands. They've just not done it. But hey ho, we'll all be back there soon. So listen, let's get back. Let's get as many of your comments on in the last 10, 15 minutes of this. We're in the final. We want to talk about that. We've talked about Johnny Evans a little bit. I want your views on Jamie Vardy. Nobody's talked yet about Casper. What do you want to say about Casper? I was so pleased to see him. He looked so excited, Casper did yesterday, when we'd won at the end. He was there with Sion Koo. Look at that. Casper's face there. Aren't you just pleased for him? Absolutely fantastic. Get your views in about Casper Schmeichel. I want to talk about Brendan and, of course, Nacho. Nacho is now, I believe I'm right in saying, I'm no stato, but I believe he's our top goal scorer for the season. I think he's on 15. So let us know what you think to Nacho there. Lewis is having a smirk, so he's saying so doubles on now. Obviously, I don't know if you want to talk about say no to the Super Greed League. Do you want to talk about that or not? I don't know what you want to talk about that. I mean, it is going on now. Fair play to fans outside Ellen Road before tonight's match. The Liverpool and Leeds fans are there tonight saying, as the Liverpool badge says, fans say no to Fenway Super Greed, no Super League. I don't think any fans want it. If you want to talk about that tonight, we can do it. If you want to revel in yesterday's FA Cup glory, that's fine. If you want to talk about West Brom on Thursday, hey, it's back to Premier League. You can do that if you want to. Kieran wants to talk about Casper. He says, Casper is so committed. I love it. I want to give a shout out to Top Man, Nacho Man, who's changed his YouTube name to Nacho Man. Thank you for that, saying top goal scorer is Nacho, and he's so good. Again, you can tell when a striker's on form because his first shot was going so wide, but he's just got the rub of the green at the moment. He's got the look of the Irish, whatever you want to call it, but the ball going wide, it bounces back to him and he has a second stab and in it goes. A good finish, second chance round, but when it's through him, it's going so well. John says, any chance for a Wembley ticket so I can book my airfare from San Francisco? Oh, John, honestly, listen, I hope you can get a ticket. I know Michael out there in the States, Elijah, there'll be so many fans. Listen, I hope I get a ticket. I've got my two teenage lads. They're going, Dad, are we going to get tickets? I'm like, oh, God knows. I'm sure I've been checking on the website, on the club. I've sent them a message to see what are they doing. They're probably scratching their heads how they're going to do it. I assume it's going to be a ballot. I assume if you're a season ticket, they're going to, there's probably, if I was guessing, and this is a guess, if we get 10,000 tickets, I would say there might be 5,000 or 6,000 tickets for season ticket holders. I think there might be maybe 1,000 to 2,000 tickets for members, and then the rest will probably go here, there, and everywhere. Fair enough. Corporate sponsors, people who put big money into the club as well. I'm sure it will go there. Keith says defence was outstanding, back to the best. It was good to see us there. Although it was Southampton, and they're not the brilliantest team, let's be honest. Alex says Casper is such a great servant for the club. He is it 11 years now, or is it 10 years, Alex? He's been there, but, winning the Premier League, get to an FA Cup final, just got to get over that line. Casper is so committed. I love it, says Kieran. Casper, got another comment here. Where was it? Curtis says, we don't need the Super League. It's going to kill the Premier League. I don't think it'll kill the Premier League, Curtis. I don't think it does it any favours. I definitely want those 6 teams to be in the Premier League. It makes it better. Of course it does. Let's not be daft. But I certainly wouldn't watch this Super League nonsense. It's just an exhibition. There's nothing to it. Nobody gets relegated and one team wins it. It's like watching a pre-season tournament. Who gives a monkey about the Ajax Cup or the Audi Cup or the Dubai, whatever it is? Nobody does. Nobody remembers who's won these. I just don't think it will. Carlos, good evening to you. How are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. William says, cheeky Chilwell own goal in the final. Will Robinson, do you know what? Would you prefer Vardy to score the winner, or would you prefer Chilwell to get the own goal? I don't know about that. I think I'd probably rather see Leicester players score. But if Ben Chilwell wants to score an own goal, that would be nice. It would be lovely to do that, wouldn't it? Would be lovely to do one over Chilwell, says Kevin. In the final, it certainly would be. Casper is so underrated, says LCFC Grey. Well, he's obviously been a big part for his national side as Denmark. They all love him. Leicester fans all love him. It was interesting. I watched a little bit of it was the Chelsea FA Cup semi-final, and at half-time they asked Mika Richards who was the best keeper he ever played with in all his career. I don't know if any of you watched it, but Kasper Schmeichel got a mention. It was Kasper or Joe Hart, and in the end he just gave it to Joe Hart. But he did rate Kasper, and of course it was a very young Kasper at Man City in the time. Aki says Wes Morgan to come and pick up the cup. I mean, that would. I mean, if he isn't already a legend, party legend. If he isn't already a legend, Wes Morgan picking up the Premier League trophy for Leicester and the FA Cup probably would make him obviously the biggest, most important captain we've ever had. He barely played this season, but it would be lovely. Auntie Karen says, will the FA Cup final on BBC? It should be. I think it normally is, isn't it? I mean, it's on is it on at a strange time? Am I right saying it is a 5:30 kickoff? Anybody out there watching, I need your help. Do you know if it's on the BBC? Is it a 5:30 kickoff? It is on the 15th of May, which I reckon 15th of May is, I'm just checking here on my diary, is a Saturday. So at least it's a Saturday. Sunday at 6:30. What a bad time that was. Yes, says Fee, it is on BBC. I think it's a late kickoff. Ben says here, I think it'd be funny if Chilwell got an own goal and handed us the cup. Of course it would. It'd be lovely. William, thanks. Will Robinson says 5:30 kickoff, and it is on BBC. So does Jamie. So does Alex. Jamie's also saying it is on BT, but I believe on BBC. Nacho Man says Leeds have walked out with a no Super League top on. I agree. I think Jamie put on his Twitter on the Fox's Arms, and a lot of people tweeted it and said maybe players, instead of taking the knee, should turn their backs on the Leeds players, should turn their backs on the Liverpool players tonight, as a mark of a mark of defiance, a mark of we're not having it. Would you agree that Leicester and West Brom players should turn their backs to each other as a symbol? If we're going to be, I mean, all power to them taking the knee, but there's been debate whether taking the knee has had its time now and is not having the effect. Is it time that we do something else about that? Get your views in that. No, Kevin, the players haven't done anything wrong though. It by turning the backs, it would be a symbol of that we're not having it. The players aren't happy. I agree, Patrick. I'm not saying it's the players' fault. I'm saying they're turning their backs and showing it on national. Liverpool v Leeds will be shown all around the world, and if they see players doing that, people will say, "What are they doing that for?" And it shows the players aren't happy. Alex is saying Klopp has come out and said he is against the Super League, and he and his players have had no part in it. Well, he's the manager, so of one of the clubs who's in it. Nacho Man says yes, they should turn their backs on it. Interesting to see what your views on there. Will say we don't know that Mourinho got sacked for that. To be fair, Will, it could be, or it could be of dressing room bust-ups. Listen, we're getting all off Leicester. Let's get back to Leicester. I apologise. It was my fault. Let's get back. Ross says, when we win the FA Cup, we'll need to chant in the stands, "Are you watching Super League?" Are you? Well, Ross, maybe. And again, it just shows you one of the big so-called top six is in the FA Cup final, and one of us isn't in the top six. It's funny how out of the big six clubs, I'm not going to call them top six clubs because two of them aren't even in the top six. One of them hasn't won the top division for 60 years. So how the hell Spurs make a top six of anybody's thing? If I was being honest, Everton are a far bigger club than Spurs. I just think it's bonkers that Spurs make a top six. It absolutely is. Neil says, it's my birthday on the 17th of May, so it would be a great early present for me. Come on, Leicester. I hope so. Jack say the first... Jack! I'm there with you. Jack said it. The first point is on him at Wembley. I think... Let me just see. Jack, is that an open offer to anybody who watches Leicester Fan TV? The beers are on Jack at Wembley. Thanks, mate. That will be an expensive round, especially down there in that there London, where it's about £12.83 for half a pint of bitter or whatever you want to drink down there. Fee saying Brendan Rodgers will not go to Spurs. I don't think so. I think this would... Who would want that out there? Nacho Man says, we did say if we'll dye our hair for the final. Do you know what, Nacho Man? We did. I think Ross was part of that. Ross and Jack, there was a discussion about everybody dyeing their hair blue if we got to the final. We got there. We perhaps need to watch the video back to see what we agreed to. He also says, Nacho says, thanks, Jack. He's having his pint. Get your orders in. Jack is buying the first beer at Wembley. Which pub are we going to, Jack? Is it the Greyhound? Is it the Green Man? Where are we drinking? Are we just drinking cans outside the ground and being uncouth? I don't mind. But Jack's buying them, whatever. Ross says, get in. I'm getting a pint. Thanks, Jack. I'll buy one back, but it's in Yorkshire. It's cheaper. It's about, hey, you can take the lad out of Yorkshire, but not the Yorkshire out of Ross. Ross won't. Ross will be used to be paying 74p for a pint up there in Sheffield for a pint of mild. LCFC Grace says he wants a pint of Guinness, Jack. The orders are coming in, mate. We are complete. I think we're all excited. We're losing the plot and talking about how the FA Cup is affecting us. Nacho Man wants a Stella. Patrick wants a Moriarty. Yeah, make it expensive. I'll have a Star of Pramen and make it a double. Thanks, Jack. Cheers for that. Let's get back. Look, what haven't we talked about here yet? Let's talk about Brendan Rodgers. Look at him there with his big cheesy smile on him, with Jamie Vardy. A lot of photos of Brendan and Vardy yesterday. It's lovely to see, isn't it? See that photo, Brendan. It helps us keep Brendan, doesn't it? It helps Brendan want to stay at Leicester City. The fact that we've got to a cup semi-final, a cup final. We're there. I can't believe it. I can't get used to saying it. 47 years of watching Leicester City, and I've never said we got to an FA Cup final. So it's going to help Brendan Rodgers want to stay at Leicester, isn't it? Qualify in the top 4 for the Champions League, get to an FA Cup final, hopefully go and win it. What is your views on Brendan? Obviously, Spurs have sacked Mourinho today. There is a vacancy there. Normally, fans would start to go, oh, is Brendan going? Why would he want to go? Honestly, at the moment, why would he want to go there? Alex says that's a lovely photo of Rodgers giving Madders a hug. It is, isn't it? Let's get it back up on the screen there. I mean, you can see, look at that. They want to play football. They want to play in a competition. They don't want to play in a Super League. Players don't want to play in it. It is a great photo. So what do you think to Brendan Rodgers in there? Maddison broke tears and hugged Brendan last night, I think, says Curtis. Alex says in Brendan we trust. Reedy, thanks Reedy for all your stuff, and coming on yesterday says, I think it was more the team wanting it more. We pressed every second. We didn't have the ball, but he was part of the 3 at the back in attack and 4 at the back in defending. Ben says, why would he downgrade? This is why would Rodgers go to Spurs and go there? It won't happen. I agree. Rodgers going to Spurs is like going from a nice juicy steak to one of your salads. Ross, nothing's that bad, mate. Your salads. Oh my God. We're never going to forget it. We'll still be talking about Ross's salad in years to come. Brendan's a one-trick pony, get rid, says Keith. I never know with you, Keith, if you're being serious or not, honestly. Brendan is our saviour. Is the other Keith, come on. You can't. Keith can't be saying that. I know, Keith, I think he's got to have that tongue in cheek. Surely, Keith, let me know if you're being serious. Lost the plot. Spurs are a joke anyway, says William Robinson. Thanks, Will, for that. Keep getting those comments in. We're nearly done here. Jack says, love Brendan, Jammy Dodgers, Rodgers, Phil. I nearly said that right, Jack. Don't forget this week on Leicester Fan TV, Jack and Ross are live on Wednesday night with their Fanzone show. Then we've got our watch-along. It is an 8 o'clock kickoff against West Brom. Let's get some quick score predictions in before we go about West Brom. It's back to reality. It's back to the Premier League. I could argue Thursday is more important than the FA Cup semi-final was. I could argue that. What do you think? Back to a very, very important double-header, 2 games back-to-back at Leicester City at the King Power. We have got West Brom on Thursday, and then we have got Crystal Palace on Monday. We need 6 points, don't we? Let's get focused on the Premier League now. Let's put all the joy of the FA Cup behind us. Get your score predictions in for Thursday. Nacho Man says 5-0 to Leicester. LCFC Gray is saying 3-0. Fee's going 3-0. And Keith is confirming with his little winky smiles that he was joking. Thank you, Keith. I was like, Keith, you do come out with some stuff some days, but I thought you can't be that off on one. Kevin saying 6-0. We're going to bend them over. Sean, thanks, Sean. Join us on the watch-alongs. Sean says 4-1. Alex is going 2-0. Ross says we'll beat West Brom at home for the first time since 1994. Believe that. 2-0. Ross, what a stat. Thank you for that. Where's Jamie when you need him with a stat? We've not beaten West Brom since 1994. That's a good one. Curtis says 3-1 to Leicester. Nacho 2. Vardy 1. Nice to see Vardy get 1. It really would. Leonard Lyons says 4-1. Mia says 2-1 to Leicester. Paul says 3-1. Another Paul Bird at this time says 3-1 Leicester. Patrick saying West Brom will be tough. They've turned a corner. 2-1. It will be tough, Patrick. I certainly agree with you on that. Steve George, last few ones, but let's get in here. 3-1 to the Foxes, says Steve. Pete says 2-1. Liam says 3-0, Vardy to bounce back. Alex is saying we really need Vardy to get back to his scoring ways, find his mojo. Listen, I've been saying that, but hey, when he looks that dynamic, maybe he's a winger now. Who knows? I certainly love the two up top. Jamie, who loves two up top, says yes, true stat that. Thank you, Jamie. If only you'd said it first. Boris Johnson says, hi, Boris. Good evening. Says, won't be as easy as people say. They've only conceded 4 in last 7. I don't know if that's Nacho Man. It's not. He's still there. I love this, changing YouTube names. It makes it entertainment. For me in there, Ben says that Jamie stole his stat yesterday. Oh, honestly, Jamie always takes people's stats. I know he does, and then splurts it out like his own. But he has got. He can't remember what he did in the morning, Jamie. But he has got a good memory for stats. Nacho Man saying we will bend West Brom over. Let's not start this. That was Kevin who was starting that. Let's not have that. Last couple. Kevin says, I don't care if he doesn't score as long as he's helping us win games. He's talking about Jamie Vardy. And I can't pronounce your YouTube name. Says, Iosi 2 goals. Feed the goat, that is. I thought Perez did all right yesterday, to be fair. We've not even had time to talk about Perez as ever. Thanks to these guys, ADT, Eat Me, Tiger, Moya Wade, Leicester, Garage Conversions, Piglet's Pantries, The Fox's Arms, Pink Car Leasing, Hologram, and Memphis. If you want to get your name down there, give me a shout. We'll help you out. We're here to help local Leicestershire businesses out. Wherever you're watching Leicester Fan TV, follow us. It's at Leicester Fan TV on all socials. So you can do that. Do go over. If you're watching on Facebook, thanks as ever for your likes and your comments. Feel free to pop over to the YouTube channel. We've got some special content that is only on the YouTube channel from time to time, so do subscribe over there. Follow us on Twitter and get involved with the polls that we do on there on Twitter and Periscope. And for you business lot, we are even on LinkedIn if you want to come and have a chat with us on there. Thanks for all your views, all your comments. Last couple here from you before I go. Alex says, Kevin Robinson, yes, but he's missed a few. That's talking about Jamie Vardy. Recently, that ordinarily would have put away. I agree. Fox's Arms, that's Jamie says, Southend stat was on our Facebook page before show. Oh, he's having a go back at you, Ben. There you go. He's not having it. Ross says, 18 years ago since we got promoted to the Premier League. Well, that was the first time, Ross. We've also been back down to League One in that time. So, Boris says he'll stop the Super League. Let's leave it there. The official Boris Johnson's YouTube channel is watching Leicester Fan TV, and he says he will stop the Super League. Thanks, Boris. Let's end on that. If you want to, I think help all fans out. Feel free to like and share this and spread the word that Leicester fans say no to the Super Greed League. Like and share that. Let's support fellow fans. Liverpool fans are doing it as well. Leeds fans are doing it. I think all true fans of football say absolutely get lost, shove it right up where the sun don't shine. None of us are interested in it. It's just money grabbing, greedy people who don't care about their clubs. Let's finish on a note to say, Convici and Kuntop, we could not have better owners. We honestly could not have better owners. We are so very, very lucky. They pumped time, love, money into Leicester City, and they do it because they love the club. Yes, they probably want to make some money, but no, they don't want that. So thank you. It's a good time to say thank you to Top for everything that he's achieved for us in the last 18 months or so since his dad sadly passed away. So thank you, Top. And thanks to all the lads at Leicester City. Thanks to the team. Thanks to Brendan Rodgers. Thanks to all the fans. We finally got to our first FA Cup final. And thanks to these guys who helped Leicester Fan TV tootle along. We'll see you on Wednesday with Ross at 8:30 and Jack Thursday at 7:30 for the full watch-along experience. See you then.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feed Me, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans' debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.